All right, looks like we're ready to go here. This is the Open Mic America for the 3rd of March, 2024. Welcome to Open Mic America. I'm Mike Simpson, your MC. Steve Anderson is our interviewer on his first time out tonight, and Ron Smith is our engineer. And as always, Capo Dave Williams, our founder, is hard at work behind the scenes. Our mission is to support your local open mics without gimmicks and frills. This is the beating heart of American music, that tapestry of story and song that has been weaving us together for generations. And now let's introduce all of our performers. I'm going to say their name and where they're from. And performers, if you would wave at the camera, you don't need to unmute, but you can just wave at the camera. We have Dan and Faith from Charleston, New Hampshire. We have T.L. Gayart from Oakland, California. We have Jason Baker from Montpelier, Vermont. And we have Dave Fiebert from Wallingford, Pennsylvania. Dave Irwin from Vancouver, Washington. Ann Sandstrom from Burlington, Massachusetts. And Stephen J. Schmidt from Rochester, Minnesota. Rebecca Parks from Hayward, California. And we're going to start right out here. Our first guests are Dan and Faith from Charleston, and we're going to have them play their favorite open mic that they normally play at is the CA Open Mic, Westford, Massachusetts, and also the Windsor Open Mic, Windsor, Vermont. All right, no further ado, take it away, guys.
All right, thank you. We just got back from a fabulous tour in Florida, and we were very honored. Two of my songs were chosen as finalists in the South Florida Folk Festival songwriting contest, and we're going to share those with you this evening. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. My name is George, no one knows, but I feel it in my heart, where I know that it won't show. I face the world, it cannot see. Even those who love me, they look, but they don't see. They just see Emily. My name is George, I must not tell, especially my father. My life would go to hell. I'd be disowned, tossed out the door. So I keep pretending, knowing in my core I'm not Emily. I never felt right as a girl. That's not who I am. Maybe when I leave for college, then I'll be free to be me.
George, I didn't know. I found it in a note he left that said he had to go. My little girl is now my son. It takes some getting used to, but I'm telling everyone he's George, not Emily. I love you, George, I always will. There's nothing that can change that.
You called me George. I love you, Dad. I thought that you would hate me, but you don't, and I'm so glad you called me George.
Yes, I'm telling
that is telling everyone my name is George.
Very good. Very good.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
That's beautiful. Beautiful song.
Pleased at the reception that it got,
Especially in
in Florida. So, and then to lighten things up a little bit, I played a song that I actually wrote in Florida last year, in the merry month of February.
This is part of we've been doing. This is our second year doing February album writing month. The idea is to write 14 songs in the 28 days of February. Last year we each got 14.
Last year we both did. Dan just finished his 14th for this. He did 14 for this February. I only managed to pull off 10 because we were on tour. But this one happened when a 7 or 8 foot alligator walked through our campsite in the Everglades last year. And I will note, very important, I'm the bass player in the family. On this one, Dan gets to play. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alligator, fearsome beast, living in U.S. Southeast. Prehistoric hunter bold, majestic creature to behold. Gator, gator in the lake, looks asleep but wide awake. Rabbit, rabbit on the shore, gator lunge, no bun, no more. Gator, gator in the sun, looking out for number one. Gator, gator wants a snack, baby bird ain't coming back. Gator, gator in the mud, hunting for the smell of blood. Turtle, turtle moving slow, gator belly says hello. That's his one and only line in this song. Gator, gator on the beach, listens to the seagull screech. Seagull, seagull lands too close, seagull's end is grandiose. Gator, gator running wild, striding toward a little child. Mama, mama thinking fast, grabs the kid as she runs past. Alligator needs respect, ancient hunting intellect. Give the gator lots of space, you'll lose if you're face to face. Alligator, fearsome beast, living in U.S. Southeast. Prehistoric hunter bold, majestic creature to behold. Gator, gator running wild.
Right. Seriously, I'm going to
Irwin.
I'm going to have Ron hook you up here with Steve Anderson for your interview.
Awesome.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Steve.
Hey there.
So it sounds like you guys play quite a bit, play around, travel a bit.
We travel pretty far and wide.
We do quite a bit more during COVID quite a bit more before COVID than since. But yeah, we've toured nationwide and we have a ton of fun doing it.
So this is, I would guess, a big part of your life, the music thing.
At this point, we're basically full-time doing music.
Yeah.
We're both retired from high tech, and we are now getting a chance to play more and work at other things less, although we're working a lot at the songwriting, and
Yes.
we're working on a new album, which has taken up a lot of our time over the past year.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, you have a lot of a musical training or a big background in music from prior to retirement, or is this?
We've been working on songwriting for about coming up on 20 years.
Getting
at this
close
point.
on that,
yeah.
yeah.
About 19, I guess,
Yeah,
at this
and
point.
we both had choral background back in high school.
And before.
And then we got to college, and there was no time for music. So we picked this up in our 40s, and we've been having a ton of fun with it.
Well, that sounds like a good way to go. So now, what is your what do you look for when you're gonna write a song? Do you look for personal experience? Do you look for just stuff that's going on, or?
It varies completely. When we've been doing this February album writing month, Dan walks in with a stack of stuff that he already had little bits and pieces of in the past,
or ideas,
or
whatever.
ideas, and I just start surfing the web or looking out the window,
or having an alligator walk
or
up
have
to
an
you.
alligator walk through our campsite.
I got great pictures of the alligator.
He
so
did,
that goes along with the song.
at some point when we record that one, we'll have to do a lyric video on that
Yeah.
with a picture of
Series
the
of
actual
pictures.
alligator that was our inspiration. Yeah.
Did you keep in touch with the alligator so that
We were back in that same campground this year, and we asked about it, and they said that it hasn't been in the campground this year, which we were a little disappointed. I kind of wanted to see it again.
Last year when we were down there was almost no water in the Everglades, and so the gators were very close to the few ponds. And this year it was really wet, so they were everywhere.
They were often every
every canal.
was full of alligators, but not this particular lake.
Well, my experience in the Everglades is restricted to just a single tour on one of those airplane-propelled boats.
Oh, wow.
I just thought that might not be my favorite place to camp.
You don't want to be there in the summer. The bugs are horrible.
Between the bugs and the heat and humidity, it's not a fun place to be past about March.
So, any specific plans for the future? Are you?
Yep, we are trying to finish up an album. We have all of our parts recorded. We're just waiting now on backing tracks. Several of the songs on the album came from last February's writing, and a few of them, like My Name is George and another, are from a little bit before. Those were also from prompts. We used to host a showcase that included a song prompt that you had a month to write a song.
And those were not song prompts that we came up with. We passed little slips of paper around to everybody in the audience and asked them to write down a word or a phrase. We would draw out 3 of them and have the audience vote on which of the 3 they liked best. And that's the theme that the following month's songwriters had to write a song about. And since we hosted, we each got new songs every month.
We write separately, then arrange for duo.
Wow, that's an approach that I can't do. I can only write songs when something just floats into my head and I have to do it. But
well, this it floats into our head by being held up in front of us on a piece of paper. And it has taken us in directions that we would never have gone on songs if faced with trying to come up with that on our own, because My Name is George came from a song prompt of My Name is George, and we had 4 very different songs that night. So, yep.
Well, I guess your love of music has taken you in directions that you never thought you'd go in.
Oh,
That's for sure.
If you had told me 20 years ago that I was going to stand on stage and sing a song that I wrote in front of a large audience, I would have laughed at you.
So, yeah. But yeah, singing at the festival in Florida was fabulous.
Oh yeah, that was such a treat.
Yeah.
Well, it was a joy listening to you, and I'm sure you'll have continued success. You seem to be into it and productive and everything that it takes to get the job done. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Steve, for the interview. Dan and Faith, thank you very much for the music. We're going to move now. We were just out toward the east part of the country. We're going to whip right over toward the western part of the country. T.L. Gayart from Oakland, California. He likes the Fireside in Alameda, California, the Bistro in Hayward, California. I have once or twice played there myself, and the Lounge 3411 Blues Jam in Oakland, California. So, TL, take it away.
Hi, guys. I really appreciate you having this kind of support for open mics. I love going to open mics. That's and what I do at open mics, and what I really love to do is improvisation. So I'm going to do a little improvisation for you right here. Here you go. There you go.
All right, there you go.
Nice.
Groovy, man.
I'm going to
Very cool.
sing do one that I wrote some time ago. I played it with my band. It's called Land of Giants. Here we go. Little man in the land of giants
to the big men in positions of power, make the rules in the ivory towers. For the little man in the land of giants, little man in the land of giants. Why can't I be more like the man I see in the mirror? He holds all the hopes and dreams that I can't deliver to the little man in the land of giants. Raise a voice in weak defiance. See the faces on evening news. Oh, the ones that win and never lose. To the little man in the land of giants. Little man in the land of giants. Why don't you hold me close before I lose my temper? I know I'm not half the man, but please remember I'm a little man in the land of giants. Raise a voice in defiance. If I fall from try to tell us that the way we should live is to take and take and never give. With a little man in the land of giants. Little man in the land of giants. Why do I have so many things here in my possession? Half this stuff I'll never use, consuming as a religion to the little man in the land of giants. Raise a voice in weak defiance. Fee, fi, fo, fum.
There you go, guys.
Very nice. Very nice.
Good song, man.
Okay, Terry, we're gonna hook you up with your interviewer here, Steve Anderson. There we go.
Well, this has been a pleasure. I've actually seen you play locally here. I'm in Alameda.
Oh, excellent. I love Alameda.
Yeah, yeah, and bumped into you over at Don Dixon's the other night, I think it was.
Oh, that's right. Holy cow, that's correct. Awesome.
My experience with your playing has been, well, the most memorable was at the Cinema Grill, where you were just kind of backing everybody that showed up, backing them all up, and doing a rather inspired job, I thought. I was just astonished at how well you were able to fit into whatever they were doing. And my problem with the whole thing is You didn't turn your guitar up loud enough.
I get that a lot for some reason. It's like, I don't know. It's maybe because I sit right beside the speaker and I always feel like I'm going to blast everybody away. But, you know,
We may have to reposition you.
yeah, I guess, or I could just turn it up, I guess. That would solve that. But yeah, I love playing with other musicians, and I love to live in that creative space. Um, and that's why I love improv. And I've gotten pretty good at it over the years.
I would say so.
Yeah, and the looper thing, well, if you want me to tell you a little short story, how I'm able to do what I do now, because I can do a whole show, 3 or 4 hours just making up stuff, the whole time. And I started that because a couple of years before my mother passed away, I would call her almost every day. And I got a looper, and one day I said, hey, let me play you a song. And so I did my first little looper stuff for her, and well, the next time, well, from then on, it got to be I had to create 3 songs. So for almost 2 years before she passed on, almost every day I was creating 3 songs. And so after that period of time, I found that, shoot, I could do this a full gig, no problem. And then I found could do it with other people too. So
Wow.
that worked.
Well, that's maybe not the not the best way to learn. To have your mother pass away as a motivator, but my goodness gracious, that's making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were so far apart, and it just became a thing that she loved. She loved me playing music. I even recorded some of her responses after I played. So when I would do some gigs, I would play her responses after I would play a song and stuff. So, and so it was a nice little story that I could tell, and with my mother's Southern accent and all that stuff. Yeah, I grew up in Kentucky, so.
So how long have you been playing?
Started bass guitar in 1972 when I was a sophomore in high school in Kentucky. And in fact, I come from a town called Flatwoods, and they have a big sign that says Flatwoods, home of Billy Ray Cyrus. He used to play with my brother in the basement, when we were growing up.
Oh wow.
I never heard him play country music, Anyway, um, so yeah, now I forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, playing bass guitar. I played bass guitar in cover bands for like 8 years. Then I picked up a 6 string, and then I started writing music, and then I started an original band, and we had a band together for almost 30 years, just me and 2 other guys creating music. And the other guitar player would play bass and guitar, and we'd switch off. And we put out 3 albums and just had a blast at it. So then I had to move away, and then I got a looper, and then found out I could do solo stuff, and then I was able to play with other people. And I do it around here, singer-songwriters, and I sit in with bands and just live in that creative space. That's what I love to do.
So are you working with any recording efforts of other singer songwriters? Are you back
Yeah,
in?
I recorded a few. Well, I did a video with a guy, and we've recorded a few things, and with different people and stuff. But it's like it's almost like I'm totally aimless now because I'm retired, and it's like I get to do what I want to do. I don't have to worry about time constraints anymore, and where I'm wasting my time. It's like I play with anybody.
Well, I may take you up on that because anybody I sort of qualify in a remote way. So and I'm at the verge of thinking about doing some sort of recording with somebody besides me. So
Oh,
I think I think I know how to get in touch with you through Don. So You may be hearing from me. All right. Well, thank you so much for participating. It was good to hear you and your amazing guitar work. I call it that. I'm certainly amazed, and hope to see you again soon.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Great stuff. A lot of fun. Okay, we are now gonna make another move, if I recall correctly. We're gonna go
Hello.
back across the middle of the country and end up in the state of Vermont, Montpelier, with Jason Baker.
Well, hello.
Hi there.
And not to be correcting and stuff like that, that's a little rude, but it is pronounced around here, they don't pronounce it so fancy. It's pronounced Montpelier.
Montpelier, okay. All right.
For real. But it is a lovely little town. We unfortunately, you may have remember us from the news last year when we had a bad flood and lost half of our downtown. So we're still recovering from that, but it's still a lovely little place. So,
well, if you're in Montpelier, you can go nearby to Burlington, Vermont at the Ribbit Review at Lily's Pad, and that's one place you can hear Jason. So, Jason, take it away.
yes, the Lily's Pad is actually a lovely little basement setup, the nicest basement I've ever seen. Nicest little basement stage I've ever seen. So this song is, I'm going to play a couple songs from two recent releases, one in September, one in October. First one, this is the title track. It was a co-write with a woman from the West Coast. Her name is Megan Erickson. This is about finding music as a source of healing after trauma. It's called Sing a Song. I peer through my window, and what do I see? The curtains are drawn where the light used to be. The furniture is covered, no visitors have come. The vases are empty, no photos are hung. Old mirror hangs crooked on the wall. Who will I see when I look after all? I knock on my door to let myself in. Dust off the old guitar, and where will I begin? Been inside for too long. Come out and sing me a song. Sing a song. Come out and sing me a song. I step to the porch towards my rickety old swing. Strum a few chords, and then I let the notes ring. And my neighbor appears on the porch and waves, coffee in hand. She listens and sways. The melody comes as a kid on his bike rides past my yard, stops to listen and likes the song that he hears as he pedals along. my neighbor joins in, and we all sing this song. Been inside for too long. Come out and sing me a song. Sing a song. Come out and sing me a song. The wind begins to carry the sound of our song. The people came together and began to sing along. And soon our little village is filled with the sound of the harmonizing voices of every soul in town. Been inside for too long. Come out and sing me a song. Sing a song. Come out and sing me a song. Sing 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 a song.
Sweet.
Very fun.
Thank you very much. And it's a lovely little story. When we first played it, we wrote it actually at a songwriting retreat. It was one of the Dar Williams songwriting retreats, and played it for the group. And it came true at the end. They all sang along. So that's good. So because this is a banjo, I got to check the tuning. Otherwise, your ears are going to be, yeah, it's a little flat. Because I'm changing to a different key. The reason I'm changing to a different key because I can. Because this is a long neck banjo. Over the last, in 2022, when I was last here, actually, I for some reason didn't come back in 2023 because I kept wanting to, but it just never happened. So, but I was here last year in 2022, and about the time I was here last year in 2022, I got a grant from Vermont Folklife to do a years-long apprenticeship with Rick Polari, who taught me the Pete Seeger style of long neck banjo, which he learned pretty much from Pete Seeger himself. So it was a great experience. And so I recorded an album of traditional songs with one song done in the also traditional way of stealing a melody from an old song and writing new lyrics to it. So that's this song. Last August, there was a woman in California who was shot for having a rainbow flag outside of her store. Her name was Lori Carlton, and people keep forgetting her name, and I don't want her name to be forgotten. They keep calling her that lady who got shot for her rainbow flag, but I want people to put that name together because she was a hero to me. Her name was Lori Carlton, and this is called Ally, the ballad of Lori Carlton. You'll recognize the song, I'm pretty sure. Actually, let me sing the first verse. From this valley, they say you are going. We will miss your bright eyes and sweet smile. For they say you are taking the sunshine that has brightened our lives for a while. Lori Carlton was an ally who stood up for you and for me. She died for flying rainbow colors and standing for equality. Lori Carlton was a mother, an artist, and a shop owner too. She devoted her life to finding beauty and sharing it with me and with you. Laurie Carlton did not take her flag down. She wanted for everyone to see her support for equal rights for every person and her love for all of humanity. Let's remember Laurie Carlton, one of the free and the brave. Let's remember Ally Laurie Carlton, not the gunman who laid her in a grave. Laurie Carlton was an ally who stood up for you and for me. She died a flying rainbow-colored and standing for equality. Laurie Carlton was an ally.
Marvelous.
Beautiful tribute.
Thank you.
All right, so Jason, we're gonna put you together with Steve Anderson here to do the interviewing thing.
Hey, Steve. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
He should pop on there. Here we go.
He's still muted, which is fine. There you are.
Oh,
Hello.
better now.
Better now.
I'm a bit of a Luddite. I don't know how these things work very well.
You really should commit fully.
Yeah. And I confess, I'm a little bit distracted because as I sat down here setting this thing up, I realized that the roof was leaking onto my desk, which
Oh, that's not good.
a minor distraction. But enough about me. The thing that I think we all know the answer to, the first question is, why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this, or why am I playing music?
Why are you playing music and singing songs?
Interesting question. So this is a fascinating question. I loved music as a kid, and I actually did like folk songs as a kid, and used to dance on the living room table in my little shoes and do tap dancing, but sing folk songs too. Actually, I think a particular favorite of mine was "On Top of Old Smoky," and I didn't like the parody versions of it. I was a mad little folk Nazi when I was a little kid, apparently. So, but when I was older, I learned a guitar, and I was a rock and roll kid in my teens, and so I learned guitar, and I played backup for a number of singer-songwriters over the years. Electric guitar, blues, a slide and all that. But in about 2017, I guess I just decided, I had just been itching to I'd been working with a fellow songwriter, and I'd been wondering about asking him about how to do it, and we sort of had some coaching sessions, and then I just in 2017 decided I'm going to learn how to write songs, or I'm not going to write songs. And so I started writing songs, and I wrote about 100 in a year, and that was the way to learn how, apparently, because that really worked. And so in 2018, I started recording my own songs and putting them out there, and the reviews I got were, sounds like he's 100 years old, music is from that, out of date, beyond belief, all the positive reviews were, in the tradition of Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie, and I thought, well, okay. And so I decided to learn some about that. And so I befriended a fella who lives here in Vermont. His name's Rick Polari. And I mentioned to him when I was he's someone who was a protege of Pete Seeger and of Utah Phillips and of other folks that he's learned many things from. And so he and I have done a radio show, which is on folkmusicnotebook.com every month now. It's called Folk Talk, and it's with Rick Polari. And he does mostly interviews at this point, but we do themed shows as well. We did an Australia-themed interview show recently. And over the course of the several years, I learned a lot about folk music from him. I also did a trio with him for about a year just to learn some songs, and we recorded an album. And And then we did this internship, this apprenticeship, where I learned the long neck banjo. There's the whole neck there. From, if in the Pete Seeger style, which Pete Seeger invented the long neck banjo, of course, and for the folk singer, and so it's the folk singer's banjo. So, and that's how I ended up where I am. It's just this love of music, and adding instruments like the ukulele, the harmonica, and the banjo along the way have just increased my palette for when I write songs.
I was trying to steer you toward a question about the relevance of what you're doing. It seems like you had this thing about the rainbow flag, and then the first song was more of a down home, real folks sort of thing. And it seems like you're carrying the essence of the folk tradition forward to make the music about real people and make it relevant. And I'm complimenting you on that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Interestingly, my normal solo albums are usually pretty topical, political in nature. I'm going to go back to that for my next album, which I'm recording over the course of the next month or two. Hopefully in only a month, since I'm just doing it right here. But the Sing a Song album was a celebration of collaborations. There are 3 collaborations that I did through the Dar Williams songwriting. They call it the Writing a Song That Matters retreats. And so there were 3 different songs that came out of random meetups with, basically they pick your name out of a hat, and I was terrified to do it, but it turned out to be a wonderful experience. And it made me write different songs, express ideas. I write other songs too, but when I wrote those first 100 songs, there were like this group of songs that really stood out to me as being what I needed to say. So yeah, I feel that I feel I have to be contemporary lyrically, but one of the most important there's these important lessons that I've learned from other mentors, including Rick, which is lessons he learned from Pete Seeger in Utah. Like Pete Seeger really wanted people to keep the old songs alive. Utah pointed out that it's like having a well of songs, a well of tradition, and that sometimes people take songs dry up or they leave the well. You got to refresh the well with songs as well. And so I'm trying to write songs that will fit in eventually into the well of tradition, that will fall in there and be picked up by somebody in the future. That's where I'm at.
It sounds to me like you're going in the right direction for you, and in the right direction for the rest of us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for showing up here. I enjoyed your stuff tremendously, and hope we see you again. And don't wait a year. Come on back.
Yeah, I think I might be back sooner than that now. I looked at it, I couldn't believe it was that long.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. Jason, thank you. Steve Anderson, thank you. We will be better able to hear you if you raise your volume a bit. You're down a little low. I see people sort of leaning forward and squinting to hear you. So let's get that done. I'm going to mute you at the moment, and then we are going to go to Dave Fiebert. Dave, you know what to do.
I'm glad to be back. It's a pleasure to be back here tonight, and picked a couple of lighter songs on my little stint here. This one, I tend to frequent thrift shops. So this one's called Old People Buying Old Things. Beyond the windows, see the displays. Everyone in there you see is old age. Checking out t-shirts, shoes and pants. All of it from someone's past. Tuesdays it's mobbed, everyone's here. Elbow to elbow, buying old gear. Gear they don't need, but the discounts apply for every old gal and each old guy. Books, lamps, rugs and rings, old people buying old things. Books, lamps, rugs, and rings, old people buying old things. You got your regulars checking each rack. They're in every week, they always come back, buying junk that would make you gasp. Things they own when were once made to last. Wife to husband finds a game she played. Remember this, you'll hear her say. Smiling, she tucks it under her arm. It still has that take me home charm. Books, lamps, rugs, and rings, old people buying old things. Books, lamps, rugs, and rings, old people buying old things. Why they show up, I haven't a clue. Think they'd find something better to do. Go to a park, walk around the block. Anything better than to buy an old clock. Maybe it's the walking in someone else's shoes. Makes you wanna buy 'em even though they're used. The rush you get is hard to measure, 'cause one man's trash is another man's treasure. Books, lamps, rugs, and rings, old people buying old things. Books, lamps, rugs, and rings, old people buying, old people buying, old people buying old things.
That is absolutely charming.
That might be familiar to some folks out there. I don't know. All right, got another one here. I work with a writing partner, a friend of mine out of college, and every once in a while he'll send me down a prompt. So he sent this prompt down called Here and There, and here's what it showed up. It's basically about a fellow who goes the wrong direction but ends up in the right place. I don't know where, I don't know why, I don't know how to rectify my wayward ways that got me here, when I know I should be over there. If I could count on my left hand 6 of the times I let down the man for what I done and I failed to do, I know my life would be all through. I seen the light way over there, but it don't shine just anywhere. My night stays dark into the day, and I'm afraid that's where I'll stay. Case in point, I read the book, I seen its ways, I had a good look. But when I tried to follow too, my wayward ways just break on through. My Lord don't hear, my Lord don't see what it is that ails me. Why do I cry all through the night? I'll tell you why, it's the wayward light. It's always on, it's never dim. I shade my eyes to all that sin, but when I wake in the night, it's still there, that wayward light. I'm on my knees, I bow my head, I curb my thoughts of all that I dread. I listen close to his sweet voice, and he says, make a choice. I lift my head up to the sky to say my thanks, and now that I will try to take a path more heavenly. But wayward winds, how can that be? I seen the light way over there, but it don't shine just anywhere. My night stays dark into the day, and I'm afraid that's where I'll stay. Yes, I'm afraid that's where I'll stay. Yes, I'm afraid that's where I'll stay.
All right, very nice.
Thank you.
I should mention Dave Fiebert's somebody that you can hear in the living room in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, Tree of Life Church in Springfield, Pennsylvania, and Galuccio's in Wilmington, Delaware. Let's get you connected with your interviewer here. We'll see when he pops up. There you guys are. Okay.
Hey, Steve.
So can people hear me a little better now?
That's
can.
much better, Steve. Yeah.
Okay. Dave,
Yeah.
um, I'm one of those old people buying old things. So you kind of spoke to me very directly there.
I had to write that. I had to write that song. It was just like I go in there all the time, and it's always the same people. It's old people buying old things. What are we doing in there? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was a delight. Um, so you've been doing this for a while. It sounds like. I mean, your guitar playing is certainly quite lovely,
Thank
and
you.
and the words come together the way they should, uh, and the expression is there. So do you have a particular goal in doing this? Are you have an agenda for your craft?
Well, I had an agenda in the very beginning. There's always, when you grow up, there's always certain songs where you say, I wish I wrote that song. There's changes on the guitar that you want to do, or where the melody takes you. So my thought was, I'm going to write one song in that in that range of songs that I like to listen to, and then that would probably be the end of the whole project. Like, well, how about that? I got pretty close to a Dylan song. I got pretty close to a song by Traffic or whatever I was listening to, and and then I had a writing partner, so we just started writing together and coordinating our efforts, and it just got to be fun. And then I thought, well, I'm going to start running out of themes, and sometimes you do. It's a wave. It sort of goes up and down with me. So, but we keep coming up with stuff, and I'll come up with some titles, and off we go. And some of them are winners, and some of them are losers. But it's all a great process to go through.
So you're still working with the same partner?
Yeah, yeah. He's a buddy of mine that we played in a college band or two, and then we got together about 30 years later, thanks to the internet, and we were able to reconnect. And so we still get together now. We do more things by virtue of Zoom and different, over the internet. I don't travel up to Princeton as often, but I'm supposed to go up there soon. So we're working on one right now. We got one. We got a pretty good one on the burner. So.
That's good to hear. So you've been doing this since college? You've been playing for 30 years? 40 years?
Yeah, I started out as a six-string player in a little four-piece band in high school. So this would be 1967, and then there was one day when everybody looked around and said, "We need a bass player," and everybody looked at me, and I said, "Well, I guess I could learn it." So a guy says, "I have a spare bass," and he gave me a spare bass to play, and then I got going. I ended up finally, I got to the point where I was able to record an album for a local performer here in Philadelphia in the early 70s up at RCA Studios in New York. That was a thrill. But so I applied my trade as a bass player in bands, and then finally got back to the six string and just wanted to try to write. I actually wanted to try to learn to play the six string, so that's starting to come together too.
So does it feel like it's a natural, easy process for you, or is this something you really have to work at?
Um, it's something. Part of it's very natural. I've turned out I like my style of play. I didn't know I had a style of play, but I've had other performers tell me, yes, says you got a specific style of playing. But so I'm just grateful for that. But but I work at it and try to get my picking down a little bit better. And there was a song that I wrote as an instrumental, and then my buddy gave me a title. I ended up writing a bunch of lyrics to it, but I'm still able to play it as a nice instrumental. So that's it. My hat's off to that one.
All right. Well, I enjoyed your stuff.
Okay.
Thank you for showing up and performing for us.
Yeah,
I
you're
hope
very
you
welcome.
enjoyed it as much as we did,
Atta ball.
and hope you'll be back.
I shall be. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, thanks.
All right, let me second that, Dave. I enjoyed that a great deal. Now we're going to stay with the same first name, although we will be moving a little bit across the country again. Dave Irwin from Vancouver, Washington. He plays at the Leakum Brewery in Portland, and he plays at Artichoke in Portland, and he's a regular at the, see if I have this correct, Latte Da in Vancouver,
Correct.
Washington. So having said all that, Dave Irwin, take it away.
All righty. Thank you, Mike. Good to be here. My first time in Open Mic America, but hopefully not the last. In fact, I got this slot by accident. There was a cancellation or something, so thanks for the opportunity. This is one of my older ones. It goes back to when my kids are both living at home when they're 35 now, so it's been a little bit of a while, but I brought this back out and it seems to be working pretty well. So here we go. It's called Touch the Ground. I've had my hands in the fire, had my feet in the water. I don't know what's the best way, I only know that we oughta reach down and touch the ground. It's not the last time I'll see you around. People are always telling me I should get out more. They could be right. There's a world beyond that door, but my home is fine. It's where my garden grows. My kids are berries in the sun, shiny on the vine, getting ready to go. Reach down and touch the ground. It's not the last time I'll see you around. When times go bad, roses crushed in mud, I hear a sound, the song of wind on wood, and I look around. The lines on the earth fold around me and lead me home. Remind me of what it's worth. Reach down and touch the ground. It's not the last time I'll see you around. Time is a trickster, how can it get away? How much choice do we have of what stays and goes away? But we're in this together, our hands and our feet. The times we've had and the times to come, till this whole package is complete. Reach down and touch the ground. It's not the last time I'll see you around. Reach down and touch the ground. It's not the last time I'll see you around. I'll see you around.
Right. Nicely blended. We'll hear a second song from you here, I hope.
Well, let's pop this one up. So, Dan and Faith played their animal song early on there about the gators, and I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to pull this one up. I live back up to a forest here, and there's all kinds of wildlife that think my backyard is their backyard. So this one is kind of about that, and I will give you a tour of some of the residents of my backyard. This is called Raccoon Moon. Saddle up, boys, the sun's going down. We gotta cover a lot of ground. There's grubs to find, they're a real treat. Backyard of the house at the end of the street. Gotta go now, but we're not going fast. We love the hunt, gonna make it last. Gotta get ready, we're rolling out soon. 'Cause tonight, it's a raccoon moon. Pull through the yard that's got no gate. Get out to the forest, no wait. Stick to the bushes, no sense in denying. We get out in the open, fur starts flying. But what's up with that guy who turns on the light? Does he want to hurt us? Is he looking for a fight? No, he just seems to want to chat. Humans, what's up with that? Well, humans think they're cool now wearing a mask. We did it first, yeah, that's a fact. We roam their gardens, we climb their trees. They think they can stop us. Oh, please, we got our turf and they got theirs. Well, they're just putting on airs. They make a funny face when we walk on their deck. They think they run the place. Well, they better check. Cruise in the dark, our eyes are shining. We wait, we watch, opportunity mining. We keep to ourselves, we like it like that. What we don't like is our tail on a hat. We're cool, we're calm, we don't get uptight. We're in charge of ourselves, we own the night. Humans probably think that they know best, but they sure seem to make a mess of their nest. Well, you know we can put up with a lot. You can chase us off, but time is all we got. You maybe might want to pay attention to the way we roll, to our conventions. Yeah, keep it in mind. You never leave a sister or a brother behind. We're into your zone and we're out like ghosts. We're smooth operators, but I don't like to boast. Coming soon, no matter what you're doing, and we'll be singing this tune, Raccoon Moon.
All right, Dave Irwin. Good stuff. Yeah. I'm going to have you sent right on over here to Steve Anderson, and he's going to interview you.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I'm guessing that you're probably a lot of fun.
Well,
I'm thinking
I have
you're
my
a guy
good
who
days, I guess.
you look for the fun in life, and that contributes to your writing.
I
And
think you got to look for it. It's out there somewhere. You got to go find it.
yeah, yeah. So, what got you started in singing and writing songs?
No, but you're going back to ancient history. I was 8, and the Beatles were a big thing, and I wanted to be one of them. But my parents said, no, you have to learn folk music. So I went to a teacher who I've also written a song about, Harry Tossig, and learned Carter Family and picking styles, and also the 20s blues, Robert Johnson and Lead Belly and that kind of music. And that led on into Bob Dylan and Utah Phillips and Pete Seeger and that sort of thing. So here it is, this many years later, still kind of playing that music. I appreciate who was it, Jason, and his story about Pete and the banjo. So that was cool.
Yeah. So you never went back to the Beatles.
Well, it was I haven't gone back to them. Actually, I play in a bluegrass band. My day job is playing in a bluegrass band. So we have a Beatles medley that we've bluegrassified. We find that there's a lot of music out there that really wanted to be bluegrass music, and we've sort of helped it along. We're doing. We just took on Sweet Caroline. That's new in the repertoire this month. So watch for that.
All right. So
Yeah.
what you played for us today didn't strike me as being very bluegrassy at all.
I've actually written one bluegrass song that I might play next time around up here. But my buddy Stuart Campbell, who's a regular here, I think he was the host last month, has encouraged me to get more into the songwriting community. And here in Portland, there's a ton of it. There's a monthly songwriting soiree that we go to, and Robin Jackson also who organizes that, puts on twice annual songwriting retreats, one in the winter, one in the summer. I was just in Nashville about a month ago at Steve Seskin's songwriting workshop. So I guess it's been kind of motivating to get out among the other writers and hear what they're doing and kind of trade ideas and trade licks. And this thing right here, just I'm picking up ideas off the folks here tonight. So you asked somebody where they get their ideas. I get it from stealing from other people. So beware, I'm out there in your in your sound space taking your stuff. So watch out.
Plagiarize, let no one else's work evade your eyes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, are you doing more solo stuff now, or is the band taking up most of your stage time?
It's about half and half. The way it's kind of developing here in Portland is a bunch of us in this community are organizing like 4-person or 4-act evenings at bars or wherever, breweries or Artichoke Music, and 4 of us go on stage and just trade songs back and forth. That's a really comfortable way to go. If you can do that in your town, it takes the pressure off, and you get to be hanging with your friends, and it's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great way to go. I've thought
Yeah.
about taking that approach. As a matter of fact, it's starting to happen a little bit around here in the Bay Area. Performing song circles. Yeah, that sounds like it might be an awful lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now, are the people you playing with kind of playing in the same venue, or are they, I mean, in the same genre, or are they doing entirely different things to mix it up?
There's a wide variety of types of music. We have jazz players, folky, mostly folk guitar players, but you get people playing wind instruments and all kind of ukuleles, all kinds of stuff, and all variety of ages from like 18 to 88. It's a very interesting collection of folks, but seems to be there's a place for everybody in the songwriting world. So I'm just glad to see it.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
do you get to do this in more than one place?
There's a fellow that's taken on organizing, and he's contacting, bars and pubs and coffee houses all around the Portland area, and wherever he can get a space and a microphone and one amplifier, we're in there playing music. So Travis Raybold, yay for him, he's the organizer, and if he's out there tonight, I just want to give him some props for being the instigator of these sort of four-person gatherings, and it's going on at least a couple of times a month now, as well as all the other open mics that are all around town. So we get to play quite a bit.
You suppose you'd like to come down to the Bay Area for a while?
Oh, sure. I like the Bay Area. Just can't live there anymore. Yeah,
Well, listen, I thoroughly enjoyed your stuff. I think you're getting a lot of fun out of your music, and
it
uh,
is.
I'd like to see that kind of thing developing. Sometimes it's important to be relevant, but sometimes music can be too serious for too long, and it's nice to see it opening up into something that's a little more just fun and enjoyable. So,
I have relevant songs. Just want to say that. I just don't play them all the time. I play irrelevant songs.
well, I'm not going to discourage you from relevance, but I enjoyed the irrelevance thoroughly.
All right. Okay,
I hope
doke.
we see you again soon.
All right. Thanks so much. All right.
Thanks for being here.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Well, I must point out that our interviewer, Steve Anderson, doesn't really play irrelevant songs, but he certainly plays irreverent songs. And Dave Irwin, hearing that you worked with a pal of mine, Mr. Saskin, I just have to ask you, was that the best line that you could have written? If you've ever worked with Steve, you've no doubt heard that one.
Oh yeah. Plus, he sends like specific feedback on the song. So I got a song back that. What did he say? He said he didn't believe the person was really in that much pain that I was trying to. I guess I didn't transmit enough pain in the song. It wasn't relevant enough, but it was a great workshop, and folks from all over the country were there, of course, and it was in Nashville, so you can't get away from the wide variety of talent that just soaks
Yeah,
through that town. So it was cool.
that's right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll again see you later, I'm sure.
Okay.
I got your mute there. All right. Next up, we're going back across the country. It's like a ping pong game with Ann Sandstrom from Burlington, Massachusetts. The North Reading Community Coffee House is where she likes to play. But if you're looking it up, it's the Reading is spelled like reading. So, if you're going to be in Massachusetts and looking to catch her playing there, make sure you spell it correctly. Ann Sandstrom, you're on.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to be here. Fun evening this evening. So this first one is, I think it's my newest song, I believe. It's called Ghost of an Old Affair. The ghost of an old affair follows him like bad perfume, cheap and cloying, destroying like guilt will do. Of an old affair, whispering somewhere deep within, shrill or teasing, breathing on his skin. Love is indelible. ghost of an old affair. Shifts his wandering eye, sad and slyly he will try to leave her behind. Love is indelible. Love is chemical, etching the edges of his heart. Love is indelible. Love is chemical. When it makes its fatal mark. Thank you.
Very moving.
So this next one I wrote after reading the book On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, which I can't say that I recommend the book in spite of the fact that it is a masterpiece by Ocean Vuong, and but it's a very, very difficult book to read. So it's very sad at some points. But of course, I wrote the lyrics and then decided I had to put the lyrics to kind of a lilting melody. So this is called When the Chaos Clears. Painters and news use often mining the mire of your world, hammering hurt till it softens, shedding the skin of who you were. You were raised on danger, flirting with fear. Will you be stronger or stranger when the chaos clears? Searching for truth, and you were screaming. Stories spilled to the page. Something soothes you in your dreaming. Sleep releases your rage. You were raised on danger, flirting with fear. Will you be stronger or stranger when the chaos clears? Words are weapons, words are flowers. You paint them all with your pen, embracing the brave and the coward. They seem the same in the end. You were raised on danger, flirting with fear. Will you be stronger or stranger when the chaos clears? you.
Very nice. Let's get you connected with Steve and he can do your interview. Talk about those
Excellent.
two interesting songs.
So am I working now?
Yeah.
You're up. Yep.
Oh, good. So I'm just gonna take a wild guess and
Does it start with J?
offer the idea that maybe you're at least as much of a poet as you are a singer-songwriter.
Um, Actually, anything that I write, pretty much that is, I don't write poetry, but I write lyrics. So, and I want my lyrics to be poetic. So, I don't know if that answers it, but
Well,
I,
well,
I,
they
I
are. They are poetic,
thank you,
and that's a lovely aspect of what you're doing.
thank
And
you.
I was quite impressed by it. So now you suggested that at least on the second song that it was inspired by a book that you had been reading. Now, is that a typical source of your inspiration? Are you an avid reader and pulling things out of what you read?
Well, I wasn't so much an avid reader, and then I joined a book group from my former high school. That's, you know, but alumni got together and we joined this. We started this book group, and I, it's really opened my eyes to a wide range of things to read. Um, and I've gotten 3 recent songs from books that we've read that are not always. You wouldn't think they would lend themselves to songs, but they have. So you can get inspiration. One of my theories is, because I have a whole bunch of songs that are the sort of not quite self-pity, but based on different life experiences that weren't too positive. And then I think when your life becomes settled and you're happy, you start having to look somewhere else for inspiration. So that's a source of inspiration for me.
So there's been a transformation in your life and your writing that follows it. That's
Hmm.
that sounds like a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I I'm glad to hear that things are going well for you. And uh, so what's your musical background? How did you get started singing? And
Well, I from as long as I can remember, I used to sit at my grandmother's piano when I was maybe 5 and try to pick out melodies. I mean, I love music from as long as I can remember, um, and started playing guitar at age 10. All through high school, I got into the program at Berkeley for high school students, and so got to study some there, which was pretty intense. Um, Played through college in coffee houses and so forth, and then I worked, of course, so I could only play out so much. But now that I'm retired, I can do more.
have you had vocal training? It kind of sounds like you have a trained voice.
Um, some, yes, with different. Starting back when I was at Berkeley, but a good friend of mine, Deb Goss, a few years ago, she and I got together and she did some vocal training with me, and it was very helpful, very helpful. She's wonderful.
And you've done some albums, I think.
Yes, I've done several, and we're just starting to work on the next one.
Oh, you say we. Who's the?
My husband. Oh yes, that's.
Oh,
My husband's also a musician, and but not so much of a songwriter. He's written one song and it's fabulous. I'm like, you got to write more. But he does a lot of he does the production and all of that, and some arrangements and backup guitar and so forth, and so it's a collaboration between the two of us.
quite wonderful to have that support.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
So, do you have hopes and aspirations of greatness, or you just having fun and doing it?
For me, greatness is if my songs touch somebody, that's great. So,
Well, that's a wonderful goal. I I admire that.
thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much for coming. We've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I think it's been a bit uplifting to have this much erudition and poetry thrown in. So I hope you'll be back.
Thank you, and thanks for stepping up to do the interviews.
Well, I'm having probably more fun than anyone else here. So.
All right. Well, Anne, that's quite a goal. And by the way, you said one person touched. I can say you've met the goal, at least here on this little box on the screen. Next up, we go to Rochester, Minnesota. And I hope that's right. MN is Minnesota, right? Anyway, this is Stephen J. Schmidt, and he works out of the LTS Brewing Company. LTS standing for Life's Too Short, and it's too short to wait anymore for you. So go get him, Stephen.
Thanks very much. The first song I'd like to perform this evening is a song that's written for all of us here, songwriters. You know, when you occasionally get those blocks and the songs don't come, or you're really tired from being out on tour. This is the title song from my album, The Road. I haven't written a song in nearly a year. There's something wrong with my life here. I've tried so many times to find words that rhyme. I've become an aging troubadour. Can't take being on the road anymore. I thought by now that I had figured out the score. This year they only want more and more. I'm so worked up that I can't sleep. Time for myself I just can't keep. I've become an aging troubadour. Can't take being on the road anymore. There once were good old days for sure. I remember not being great. Playing the game once was so much fun. When did it all slip away? I've become an aging troubadour. Can't take being on the road anymore. Back in the game in a week or so. Still my uneasiness grows. What if my picking isn't fine? What if I am past my prime? I've become an aging troubadour. Can't take being on the road anymore. There once were good old days for sure. I remember not being great. Playing the game once was so much fun. When did it all slip away? I become an aging troubadour. Can't take being on the road anymore. Can't take being on the road anymore.
Nice. Very appropriate.
Thanks, everybody. I know that you all can relate to that one. Okay, that wasn't me. This next tune is off of my Heartland album. It's a bit autobiographical, but if you dig into the lyrics, you'll hear that it's really a love song for my wife, Elizabeth. The title of the song is The Turnaround. As I turn 70 and reflect upon my life, I recall some hard times, struggles and strife, wrestling with demons that almost took me down. But I beat them back, bound my wounds, picked myself off of the ground. 'Cause of you, and all you do, you helped me through the turnaround. My first wife bolted when we brought the baby home. We should have been a family, but I ended up alone. Seed and a paycheck was all she wanted from me. Then she robbed me of my children when I finally broke free. Then came you, and all you do, you helped me through the turnaround. I let the bourbon take me and used food to ease my pain, but neither one helped me as I grew more insane. The day my son died, the world fell apart. Then my daughter left me, not wishing a fresh start. Then came you, and all you do, you helped me through the turnaround. The turnaround. into my life. You filled me with joy. You made me feel alive again, just like a teenage boy. You helped me through the turnaround. You are my precious one. There's just no way to thank you for everything you've done. Ah, there's you and all you do. You helped me through the turnaround. The turnaround. The turnaround.
Wonderful.
Great stuff, Stephen. We're going to bring on screen with you Mr. Anderson, who will interview you most thoroughly, I'm sure. Here we go.
Thank you. Great to see you, Steve.
Good to see you again. I remember the last time you were on, and I'm well. First of all, I'm duly impressed with your guitar work. I just think that's lovely.
Well, thank you very much.
And I kind of get the impression that you have kind of an optimistic viewpoint in life. It seems to show up in your music that you take a lot of different things into consideration in your writing, and but the final message is always warm and fuzzy.
Well, I'm glad it makes you feel that way, Steve.
Was that not your intent?
Uh-huh. Well, of course. The songs are heartfelt, and they tell the stories that are true about my life, people who I've met, family stories, stories about this beautiful part of the country in which I live, and trying to touch people with my music and my lyrics is really what gives me the greatest joy.
I have fond feelings about Minnesota. It's a country that it gets chilly in the wintertime and sometimes snows and things. And I always had the feeling that if you got stuck on the side of the road in Minnesota, someone would stop and help you. Whereas if that happened in a lot of other places, you'd just be waiting and waiting.
Well, but there is also this thing called Minnesota Nice, where we're passive aggressive. No, this is really truly a great place to live, and the characters are very inspiring, and the weather this winter has been nothing to complain about. It was 65 degrees here today, so for the 1st of March to be that warm is really something spectacular.
I think it was 65 degrees here today in California. So
there you go.
Maybe I shouldn't have moved out here. I came from Wisconsin, and most of my relatives are actually in Minnesota.
Well, global warming is a thing, and so we'll have California climate before too long.
Well, just so long as we don't all go underwater, that's all I'm concerned about.
There you go. There you go.
So you write about personal things about your life and the people around you. Is that pretty much it? Do you write?
Yes, but I'm also going through a period where I'm being inspired by water a lot, and I'm hoping to receive a grant from our Regional Arts Council here shortly. And if I am successful, I'm going to be doing a new collection of works inspired by this part of Minnesota and Wisconsin that's called the Driftless region, the Coulee region, making a lot of references to the Mississippi River, the backwaters here, the Zumbro River, which is the river here in town. And I'm coming up with these stories of people that have just occurred to me in my mind. I did on one of these webcasts The Witch of the Reeds, which was inspired by the Coulee region down by the Mississippi River. And I've got more songs as part of that part of my catalog that I hope to be able to put out shortly.
Wow. I have some experience on the Mississippi River. My grandparents lived in Red Wing, and I got to ride on a paddle wheeler that came up and down the Mississippi periodically, and they had a steam calliope on it, and I talked the guy into letting me play Shave and a Haircut 2 bits on the steam calliope, which is
You know, I had a day job in Red Wing for about 5 years where I restored that historic theater, the Sheldon Theater there in Red Wing.
Oh,
Before, yeah. Before
I
moving.
know that it's on 3rd Street.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
A beautiful old Beaux-Arts theater. I had the honor of being hired to manage the restoration of that space. Now, this was 35, 37 years ago.
At
So
least
it's quite a time ago.
because I've been to that theater before and after.
Oh, there you go.
So thank you for doing that. I mean, you did a marvelous job. That's a gorgeous place now.
Well, it is a gem, that is for sure. And,
Yeah.
And the career that I enjoyed working here in Rochester really helped inform some of my music. And so perhaps at another time on another one of these Open Mic Americas, we can talk more about that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming. We're kind of running out of time here, and it's always a pleasure, and it's always in your case, it's always uplifting. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Well, everything that we do has an ending to it, and our ending here is going to be quite marvelous. I am very pleased to announce our next performer. I have known her for something beyond 20 years, and wonderful songwriter. She and her husband Gary are gonna take us home here. Rebecca Parks can be heard at the Bistro Pub in Hayward, and she also runs a song circle, a virtual songwriter circle that sometimes some of the people are physically present, but mostly virtual in my experience. And so Rebecca, Gary, take it away.
This is a love song of a different sort. I have a genetic kidney condition, and a couple of years ago the inevitable happened. I started to slide into kidney failure, and it shocked me when my best girlfriend of 40 years offered to give me a kidney. And I thought the least I could do to thank her for saving my life is to write her a song. A silent gene, 1,000 cuts, the organs that can never mend. I could be tethered hours each week, awaiting some sad stranger's end. You've given me more words to write, more songs to sing, more lands to see. love and courage make me whole. A part of you is part of me. Through years of friendship you had known, I'd face the tether or the knife. When that time came, you reached right out to offer me a second life. You've given me more words to write, more songs to sing, more lands to see. Your love and courage make me whole. A part of you is part of me. But every battle is a contest, but every priceless gift is stone. Not every bond is blood or marriage. Not every hero's name is known. You've given me more words to write, more songs to sing, more lands to see. Your love and courage make me whole. A part of you is part of me.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Thank you. And now for something completely different. Not every song that I write about somebody else is a compliment. Back in 2003, I had one of those bosses. And I ended up kind of leading a mutiny. But anyway, I wrote a song about that, and I wrote it in blues style, and my husband Gary is a much better blues singer than I am, so I
emulate it.
I kind of drafted him into singing this. So. Okay.
He says I'm a star employee, but he hates to be outshone. He likes all my ideas as long as they match his own. He doesn't know the details, but won't take my advice. Then he blames me for his failures, 'cause he will not pay the price. I've come to the conclusion he needs someone to abuse, and I happen to be handy. I got the bad boss blues. Well, if I do the wrong thing, he'll curse me through and through. Maybe he's really indecisive when he tells me what to do. First he needs it next month, then he needs it yesterday. And when it's almost finished, he says do it a different way. The only thing that saves me is he's easy to confuse. I reinvent the deadlines, 'cause I got the bad boss blues. Every time I see him, he makes me wanna heave. But until the market's better, I can't afford to leave. I've tried to make a transfer, but he will not let me go. He talks about empowerment, yeah, but it's really all for show. He must be directly descended from the prehistoric ooze. He needs some evolution. I got the bed boss blues.
Right. Nice. Great voice.
Okay, well, here's your good interviewer. At least we can provide you with that.
That's a higher praise than I expected. Well, thank you so much for sharing your stuff. I got the impression, I before we all started this, I Googled everybody, and I didn't get into it very deeply. But the one thing that the impression that I got of your writing is that you can write just about anything about anything. It just seems to be so much variety in your songs. Uh, how do you do that?
I get inspired by all sorts of crazy things. Some of them serious, some of them not so serious. And I grew up listening to a lot of Broadway musicals, and you can't sit through a musical where all of the music is in the same style. And so you get a wide variety of stuff, just, in even one musical, let alone the hundreds that I either heard on records or attended growing up.
So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you were a writer of some sort by profession?
Oh, I'm a technical writer. I write computer manuals for a software company. And actually, you would think that that's very different from songwriting, but in both cases, you are trying to, in a very short space, lead the reader or the listener through a story or a process clearly. And that you have a goal, you have a message you want to deliver, or you have something that they want to accomplish. You wouldn't think that they had any relationship, but they kind of do in a way.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think, there's just a skill in putting words together that is transferable back and forth between those things. My son was an English major in college. He wanted to be a writer, and he wound up writing code. And he said, "Well, one language is like another." I don't know.
Well, engineers are a very different breed.
you know, he made that transition, and he's a very different breed. All on his own. But anyway, now, what kind of songs do you enjoy writing the most? What's the most fun for you?
Well, I think my roots are most in folk music. I grew up. The first artist I was really passionate about was Joni Mitchell, but then later I discovered a wide variety of artists, everybody from Led Zeppelin to the Indigo Girls. So it's and then every now and then, you wouldn't think that I'd admire a punk band, but Green Day's song 21 Guns impressed me so much that I was listening to it in the car and I had to pull over. So
So Led Zeppelin as folk music, that's
We
Oh,
co-
that's a story.
we do cover one of their songs.
We
so-
cover
and we've
we cover
recorded
the
it.
Battle of Evermore, which is
Their one song that has a female,
female
vocal as well
vocal,
as
yeah.
yeah.
And there was a farmer's market we were playing at, and we were setting up, and we were obviously this little folk duo. And I think the assistant manager thought he would throw us by saying, "Hey, know any Led Zeppelin?" And we said, "Actually, we do."
And afterwards, he really liked it, so it's like, okay, credibility, we got it.
So,
yeah.
So it's just you were busking. If you,
it was an official gig. We were at a farmer's market, and we were being paid for it. So.
Santa Clara, years ago, yeah.
have you ever done busking?
Well, actually, I should try it, but for many, many years, from age 9 to age 44, I only played piano and keyboards. And then at the tender age of 45, I got this goofy idea to take up guitar. So since then, I've mostly played guitar because it's so much more portable. And
matter of fact, Bad Boss Blues, she used to do that on piano, yeah.
And it's a little bit more of a swamp version.
Yeah, I call this the
guitar.
The Mississippi Delta in the middle of a heat wave version. I had to kind of pull back. I used to really belt it loud, the whole thing, just
on piano it has a little bit more of a spunky sound.
Yeah, and yet you're competing with the piano, so I had to come up with something more growly.
Well, it's lovely to have that breadth of things to work with and work from and do as well as you do it. It's my writing has serious limitations that you don't seem to suffer from. So congratulations on your accomplishments. And I'm sure you'll be back again. So I look forward to that, and thank you for coming. And a blues rendition was a hoot. I have to.
Thank you.
That was a little bit of extra fun. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Well, that is, for the most part, our show for the evening. We are gonna pause for a moment here, though, to thank all of our performers one by one. Dan and Faith, if you want to come wave when we thank you. Terry Gayart, Jason Baker, Dave Fiebert, Dave Irwin, Ann Sandstrom, Stephen J. Schmidt, and Rebecca and Gary Parks. So I want to ask everyone here, both the performers and everyone faithfully following us online in streaming on YouTube let's see, what have I done here? I just did something to my screen that I didn't want to do. Okay. Anyway, I want to make sure that everybody remembers to check our website. You can get all the information about who's playing when and all that kind of stuff from the website, and that has links on it to the music of all the performers, and you can find archives of all of our past shows on there. I'm going to thank the hosts tonight. That would be beginning with our fantastic engineer, Mr. Smith, and then our interviewer. This was his first time, and he covered himself in glory, Steve Anderson. And of course, we always want to thank Capo Dave. None of this happens without him in the background there, building his guitars and making this all happen. I'm in the wrong spot. Sorry about this, clumsy. If you like this show, which I hope you as an audience did, we thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. If you like this show, don't keep it a secret. Spread the word. on the website, openmicamerica.com, all one word and then .com, you can download and print posters from that website and hang them places where people can see them. You can also get what Capo Dave is wearing there, and at least one of our performers I noticed had one too. One of these wonderful T-shirts that has the Open Mic America logo on it, and then you can be out and become a walking signboard for us. We'd appreciate that. And please, when you hear of anybody else's open mics that are near you, check those out. Check out all your local and virtual open mics. That's why we're here. We've listed the one where our performers play under the local open mics tab on the website. We're always here first and third Sundays of every month. So our next show will be Sunday, March 17th, same time, same station. So stay tuned and check the website for the next full lineup of performers. Again, your virtual and local open mics that are, brick and mortar as well, all deserve your custom, go and see other people play and go play there yourself. All right, let's have everybody mute and wave. And with that, Ron, take us out.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
All right, there we have it. Thank you all very much. Steve, Dave, and Ron, thank you guys for being the team. And we'll let Capo Dave have a minute here.
Thank you, Mike, and wonderful job, Mike and Ron and Steve and performers. You were all great. This was a great show. Wow, I really enjoyed listening to all your songs. And I'm booking now for June the 16th and July the 7th. It's a long way off, but don't hesitate to sign up. And if something comes up a couple weeks before the show, let me know. We'll kick the can down the road. No worries. And please tell your friends that play at a pretty high level like you guys about our show. And if you'll send me a link to some of their stuff and their email address, more often than not, we'll just invite them directly to come on the show. So that's all I have for tonight. I have just a wonderful show, and all